Now that goes into a couple scriptures. Yes, so I'm going to read Exodus 19 and 6. It says, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation.
Bring it out.
These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Now this is Deuteronomy, but it says peculiar. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. It says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord has chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the earth. So like we said, man, you can't be understanding what's in the New Testament without going back to the Old. And this is why when Christians come up to us, we don't get confounded.
That's right. Definitely not.
Now, that first Peter, like 2 Peter 3:13.
This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
That's what we're looking for, a new heaven and a new earth, and a new kingdom, a new rulership.
Bring it out, brother, bring it out.
Dwelleth righteousness. Because in this kingdom, there's no righteousness, man. There's no righteousness at all, my brother. Yeah? Now, that's Isaiah 66, verse 17. It says, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. Now the second scripture to that is Isaiah 66 and 22. It says, for as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. So this is letting you know that the new heavens and the new earth is going to be permanent. Like we said, get quickly grab Daniel 7 and 18. Yeah? Daniel 7 and 18. I'm going to read that again. It says, for as the new, this is Isaiah 66, verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18.
And this is the seed that's going to remain.
Oh my God, you know what? I didn't even look at it, but I will now to say. Stay in the spirit. The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18.
Read. And this is the seed that's going to remain, man.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Yeah,
that's who's going to have the kingdom. The kingdom that's going to remain before the Most High, and the seed that's going to be there, that's the Israelites. That's who the saints are. And you can find that in Psalms chapter 50 verse 5, Psalms 148, 14, Psalms 149, 1 down to 4. So let's continue. Let's stay in the spirit. That just came from nowhere, my brother. It's like, I know, right? Yeah, man.
I haven't got that in my memory now. Yeah.
1 John 1 and 8.
1 John 1 and 8.
1 John 1 and 8.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 1, verse 8. Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past, and the true light now shineth.
And where's that coming from? You can get that in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 9. It says, who can say, I have made my heart clean, I am pure from my sin? So read that again, brother.
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 1, verse 8. And again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past and the true light now shineth.
That's the true light, man. Now let me get Jude chapter 1 verse 7. Let's cover a few scriptures as well.
This is the book of Jude. Yeah, this is the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them, in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication. Salaki. This is Jude 1, chapter verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them, in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh.
This strange flesh, that's man with man, woman with woman. You know, man with beast, woman with beast. That's strange flesh.
Are set forth for an example.
And it says that was for an example. Because if you look today, they're putting in laws promoting these things. That man can marry man, woman can marry woman. Yeah? But it says Sodom and Gomorrah was set as an example. And what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? We know that the Most High destroyed it. So that's why this kingdom is going to be destroyed, because of all the wickedness is keeping up. Yeah? We've got examples of how we should live in the scriptures, and people just want to ignore it.
Suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
That's right. Now that's in Genesis chapter 19, and it covers a few scriptures, so I'm just going to jump. It says 19 and 1, and there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat at the gate of Sodom, and Lot seeing them rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. Verse 12. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou heir any besides son-in-law, and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of it is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. Now it goes on more, but it's just showing you where they're getting these things from. Yeah, about Sodom and Gomorrah. That's not a New Testament thing. That's found in the Old Testament.
That's right.
Now the beauty of it now, when you come to Revelations, there's too much in Revelation. So we're going to do a couple favorites. Revelation 13 and 10. Let's see where they get that from. Revelation 13 and 10, because the brothers then bring this out often as well.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
So this is what the saints are patiently waiting for. Now grab on Revelation and grab Genesis 9 and 6. Now, the first part of that, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, that's coming from Isaiah chapter 14 verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Excuse me. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And the second half of that verse is coming from here.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 6. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed.
That's why it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Yep.
Now let's go back to Revelation. Jesus for everything, man. Revelation. Yeah, Revelation 21. Now this is a beautiful one. Yeah. Revelation, we're going to read verse 1. Bring out the precepts for that. Then we're going to show you how much precept verse 2 has. Yeah, 21 and 1.
It's the book of Revelations, chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
That's right.
For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away.
Wait a minute. Now that is coming from Isaiah. We just read that. 65 verse 17. So I'm going to read it again. It says, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. Now read verse 2.
Verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God, out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Now the precept it gives for verse 2 in Revelation 21, it gives you Ezekiel chapter 40, verses 1 to 49. I'm going to repeat that. The precept for Revelation chapter 21 verse 2, it gives you Ezekiel chapter 40 verses 1 to 49. But I'm just going to read verses 2 and 2 to 4 out of Ezekiel chapter 40. It is Ezekiel chapter 30 verse 2. In the visions of God brought he me into the land of Israel and set me upon a very high mountain by which was as the frame of a city on the south. And he brought me thither, and behold, there was a man whose appearance was like the appearance of brass, with a line of flax in his hand, and a measuring reed, and he stood in the gate. And the man said unto me, Son of man, behold with thine eyes, and with thine ears, and set thine heart upon all that I shall show thee, for to the intent that I might show them unto thee, art thou brought hither, declare all that thou seest to the house of Israel. And this is letting you know that the kingdom of heaven, that new heaven and that new earth, is for the Israelites. Now, next precept I want, next precept is Ezekiel 48, verse 1 to 35. And I'm going to read verses 31 to 35. And this is still dealing with Revelation 21 and 2. So Ezekiel 48, that's mad. Fair preaching, yeah.
Look into that.
Listen, mad. Yeah. And get Revelation 21 and 12, but this is going to come in as well. Yeah. So this is Ezekiel 48, verses 31 to 35, and this is covering Revelation chapter 21, verse 2. And it says, and the gates of the city shall be after the names of the tribes of Israel. 3 gates northward, 1 gate for Reuben, 1 gate of Judah, 1 gate of Levi, and at the east side 4,500 and 3 gates, and 1 gate for Joseph, 1 gate of Benjamin, 1 gate of Dan, and at the south side 4,500 measures, and 3 gates, 1 gate of Simeon, 1 gate of Issachar, 1 gate of Zebulun. At the west side 4,500 with 3 gates, 1 gate of Gad, 1 gate of Asher, 1 gate of Naphtali. It was round about 18,000 measures, and the name of the city from that day shall be, the Lord is there. And that's also covering Revelation 21 and 12. So read that for me, brother. Sure.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 12. And had a wall great and high.
This is who the kingdom of heaven is for, that new heaven and that new earth.
And had 12 gates.
And we just read of those 12 gates in Ezekiel chapter 48.
And at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
We just read those from Ezekiel 48 verses 31 to 34. Now, the precept for that is Ezekiel 38. I'm going to read it again. 48 Slakia, verse 31. And the gates of the city shall be after the names of the tribes of Israel. I'm going to read it again. 3 gates northward, one gate of Reuben, one gate of Judah, one gate of Levi. And at the east side 4,500, and 3 gates, and one gate of Joseph, one gate of Benjamin, one gate of Dan. And at the south side 4,500 measures, and 3 gates, one gate of Simeon, one gate of Issachar, one gate of Zebulun. At the west side 4,500 with 3 gates, one gate of Gad, one gate of Asher, one gate of Naphtali. So like we said, unless you're reading the Old Testament, you're going to continue to be confounded with the writings of Paul and the things that's in the New Testament, because they only taught from the Old Testament. And with that, like I said, I want to give a great shalom to the brother from GMS Fear the Most High 7 Bar, the elder I should say. And with that, we're going to close out. Going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakam, Kadash. Kwam Yasharala.